rules of... Finally, my brother, be strong in the Most High and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Off with his head. Devil wanna try it, so it's off with his head. Repent, the time is now, cause you can't talk when you did. Bible study in the AM, you should walk with it says. Straight and narrow path like a walk on the ledge. Only difference, I won't fall out, cause the Most High got me go to war for the hour. I'ma make a beast, probably. Mashiach is the blueprint, so we fact machine copy. For him, we are the students, so let's pack it, read properly. Get the highlighter, I light higher, he's a higher light. Bond with him, like bonfires on a quiet night. We forge demons to get from bias, be Messiah like. Scorch demons like wildfire, we the fire type. Spirit walk, they not our equals, this is not a fight, don't get involved. Just delete them like you ain't typing right. When I will call, you must receive them like you the satellite. Use this light as a tool of might, you know, hammer type. No thought, no folklore, this ain't cap, dog, this so important. This spirit war, this ain't no rap, dog, you can't ignore it. Like cold swords, that's a fact, dog. Money what, that's not important. This ain't about no racks, dog, repent quick. Once I don't miss, this your last call, his mind made. He won't shift, this ain't no fastball, most eyes in rage. Don't violate, while in Babylon, stay in your place. Sets in the blaze like a blast off, no outer space. The firmament about to crash, dog, his kingdom come. This will be done, I'll take that mask off. Stop pretending, and wear your faith on the front street. Them demons running beyond me, they don't want beef. They wanna try it, so it's all with his head. Repent, the time is now, cause you can't talk when you did. Bible study in the AM, you should walk with it says. Straight and narrow path like a walk on the ledge. Only difference, I won't fall out, cause the Most High got me go to war for the hour. I'ma make a beast, probably. Mashiach is the blueprint, so we fact machine copy. For him, we are the students, so let's pack it, read properly. Devil wanna try it, so it's all with his head. Repent, the time is now, cause you can't talk when you did. Bible study in the AM, you should walk with it says. Straight and narrow path like a walk on the ledge. Only difference, I won't fall out, cause the Most High got me go to war for the hour. I'ma make a beast, probably. Mashiach is the blueprint, so we fact machine copy. For him, we are the students, so let's pack it, read properly. Spirit warfare to the chant. Look, I've been trying to fight you. Baptism, rinse, then spin. Cause demons taking people through cycles. Look around, we close to the end. We all live in water, they on night. We'll sleep while the demons live inside them. Evil spirits in them like Eisen. Repent and cast them out quick. Leave them horizontal like horizons. Call down fire like Elijah. Most high, only we can fight in. So we hear them now like horizons. Saints in the clouds right beside them. They're trying to block his sun like a visor. Put them sins down, I advise them. 3-day fast for the boost. Demons out of hand just like oops. Keep their tongue tied like some boots. Time to go to war, call the troops. Prince of the air, prince of who? Catch him in the air, alley hoop. Stay still, I bind and rebuke. Stay still, I bind and rebuke. Stay still, I bind and rebuke. What you thought? We was scared too? You ain't noticed how we came through? Thought we was in the same crew. Heaven or hell is forever, but it's not in the same loop. Why take a gamble with the king? Poker face, not the same suit. Shalom.
Shalom, 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 Yasharahla. It's your brother Nechemia from Nations and Kings and Priests, NoKap Cali section. All right, and we live right now. Back at you with another quick class while I got some time. All right, we're gonna go over something. It's gonna be real quick. We're gonna go over something as far as wisdom, right? So the topic of this class, right? And I'm not gonna go too deep into it. Maybe I'll probably do a part 2 to this class. Because I got a lot of stuff I want to bring out. I have a lot of stuff I want to bring out as far as just classes in general, but especially on wisdom. The Most High, you know, has been increasing me in that I would say in that realm of wisdom, right? So I want to give all honor and all glory and esteem to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahwahshi, all right? could have be able to give me this time to be able to do another class today. All right, so the topic of this class is called the Miraculous Cheat Code. Right? You know how you type. You know how when you used to play Grand Theft Auto when you was younger, or you used to play whatever game that requires a cheat code. Usually it was Grand Theft Auto, right? And you hit you hit the little back buttons R2, L2, R1, triangle, X, whatever, or however whatever system you used to be on, right? You always had a cheat code in order to get the things that you really didn't get the things kind of like instantly. But as far as this case, when it comes to the truth, obviously you don't get anything instantly, but it's still a cheat code on how to be able to obtain the things that you don't have. Right? So that's the point. How to be able to obtain the things that you don't have, right? At this moment, right now, things that you can work on. There is a miraculous cheat code for it. And I want to thank the water for one of the elders, right, for bringing this to my attention. You know what I'm saying, and bringing it out in a way that was very, very, very edifying, right? So, I want to give a double honors to all the elders of the Marshara Yasharhala, and a double honors for all the elders that are not in the Marshara Yasharhala. We do have to give reverence to our elders. The ones that are good examples, the ones that are good examples for us, in order for us to be able to walk in the spirit of HaMashiach. So double honors to you, elders. All right, I pray the Most High continues to let His light shine on you. And I hope He continues to keep you in the spirit and continues to magnify the spirit within you, so you can continue to doing the work and magnify the name of Yahwahshi. All right, so with that, like I said, the topic of this class is called the Miraculous Cheat Code. The Miraculous Cheat Code, all right? So, what is the Miraculous Cheat Code? We know about it growing up, playing games. You click a few buttons, and next thing you know, you have $6 million. Right? Or you click a few buttons, and next thing you know, you got the 6 nice cars, or whatever the case may be, as far as whatever game you played and cheat code you use in order to obtain the things that you wanted. Right? It didn't have to work for it. Right? But when it comes to this truth, you have to work. You work, you don't eat. That's physically and spiritually. As far as in the spiritual aspect of it, you work, you don't obtain wisdom. Meaning, if you don't obtain wisdom, you're not able to bear forth. You're not able to bear forth the fruit that you could if you were to have wisdom. So if you lack in wisdom, it's going to prevent you from bearing as much fruit as you could bear. Using Most High, using you to His maximum capacity, to be able to do the things that He needs you to do. Right? If you're not seeking wisdom, right? So we definitely have to we definitely have a cheat code. All right, and we got to use that cheat code, man. All right, so with that, we're gonna go to the book of Sirach, chapter 34. Like I said, I'm not gonna be too long. I'm gonna share my screen real quick because I don't have too much time this morning. I'm gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes because I still have a few things to do before I head to out again. All right. All right. So we're gonna start in the Sirach, chapter 34, and we're gonna start at verse 9, right? So this is the miraculous cheat code, right? We're gonna read from verses 9 through 11. And it reads, a man that hath travailed knoweth many things, or Salak. A man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom. So a person that's always on the go, a person that's constantly traveling, he's here, Salak. He's here one day, he's there one day. He's flying out to this country. He's flying out to this country. He's able to see more. He might come across more history that refers to the scriptures that can go with the scriptures that we might not know of, right? The more he travels, the more he starts to be able to pick up things that people who don't travel as much do, right? He might be able to pick up more wisdom. He might run into other brothers in a different country who have a high level of wisdom, a high level of understanding, a high level of discernment, right? So the more you travel, the more experience you have, which is always going to equal to more wisdom that you have. Because if you're in one spot all the time, you're never going outside of that zone that you're in. You're very limited to the things that you can share and the things that you can bring out. Right? Salakli. So you're very limited. Right? So it also says, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom, right? So let's get the definition. Let me go ahead and get the definition real quick. Salakli, 1 second. Let me go ahead and get the definition of wisdom according. Let's just go to according to the English dictionary, right? Let's see what their definition is, right? Let's see. Let's also share this screen. Salakli. Right. So let's share this screen right here. There it is. All right. You have the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, the quality of being wise, right? Experience, right? Isn't that Shalaklia? Let me go ahead and we're gonna go back to this and let me just share everything, right? So we can see everything. So we can see everything. So Shalaklia, bear with me, right? Right. So it says the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, the quality of being wise, right? So the point is the experience. So when we read Sirach, the 34th chapter, and we read, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom, right? So the more things that you go through in your life, the more wisdom you're going to obtain, right? Because you've been through so much. You've been through a lot to be able to declare this wisdom when you're speaking to a group of people, when you speaking to a brother, when you're speaking to a sister. You know, you're able to declare this, and wisdom, the spirit of wisdom will speak through you, right? Because you obtained it through much experience, right? Verse 10. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath travailed is full of prudence, right? He that hath no experience, meaning you if you don't have any experience, you don't have any wisdom. As it says, knoweth little. You know very, very little. And that goes back to the confines that I was speaking about, in the confines of where the surroundings that you're at. If you're staying in within this box, you're not going to know anything that's outside of it, right? If you don't move out of the comfort of where you're at, you're not going to know anything outside of it, right? So you're going to have very little experience. You're going to have either very little experience or no experience, and you're going to know very little. But he that hath traveled is full of prudence. So a person that's always traveling is always, because if he's always traveling, he's always in situations where it's an experience, something that he can take from it, right? Verse 11, when I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. So when you go around in different parts of the world, you're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to see things happen that you never thought you would ever see in your life, right? You're going to see things that you can't even express with words. The Most High might put you in a situation that is so beautiful that you can't even find the words to be able to explain and to tell Akim how exactly it went down, or whatever dream you had, if it was of the Most High, or whatever scenario you was in, to where the Most High increased you and to be able to see something like that, right? So this is part of the miraculous cheat code, right? Is Salaka is traveling more, right? If you have the means to travel more, because the more you travel, the more brothers you're going to be around, the more elders you're going to come across, the more spirits you're going to be in contact with, right? You're going to obtain more by traveling more, and wisdom will declare itself within you once you start to travel more, right? Once you start to put yourself in situations that's outside of your comfort zone. Salaklia. All right, so with that, let's go to the book of Sirach. We're in the book of Sirach still. Let's go to the 6th chapter, I should say. Let's go to the 6th chapter. All right. Let's go to the 6th chapter. I'm going to start at We're going to start at verse 32. We're going to read all the way through to 37, right? So for it reads, it says, my son, if thou wilt, if you will, right? If you will, thou shalt be taught. This is part of the miraculous cheat code. You have to be willing to be taught. You have to have much humility in order to be instructed, right? You have to want to learn. You have to realize that you don't know everything, right? So that's why it says, if thou wilt, it's on you if you're going to be taught or not. It's on you. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. If you let it happen, if you humble yourself, if you keep a ear and to receive, you'll obtain wisdom and prudence, right? My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, whatever you're taught, if you were to apply with all your mind to what you're being taught, thou shalt be prudent. It's the same thing, right? It's that they say these things in the world, but they don't, it's not of the lines of how the Bible brings it out. Somebody might say it in a way that is not as complex, right? So it's like people in the world, even like celebrities, people who are well off in the world, right? Who are people who are very successful, they always tell you, well, if you just put your mind to it, you can do anything you want to do. Well, that's what the scripture's been saying. That's what the scripture's been saying. They're not saying anything new. There's nothing new under the sun, right? And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If you put your mind towards anything, you will be prudent. But in the case, the miraculous, you want to put your mind towards the miraculous cheat code for wisdom. That's the one you wouldn't put your mind to, because wisdom was the first thing that was created on this earth. Let me prove that real quick. Let me go ahead and prove that, and I'll come back to this, right? Let me go ahead and prove that, and I'm going to come back to this, Salakia. Let me go ahead and prove that, because this is the miraculous cheat code. You have to apply your mind to know wisdom. You should want to know wisdom. Wisdom was the very first thing the Most High created. Wisdom was there when the Most High created the heavens. Wisdom was there when the Most High created the moon. Wisdom was there when the Most High created the sun. Wisdom was there when the Most High was creating everything, right? And when the Most High Yahwahshi was creating everything, wisdom was there. Read the book of Sirach, chapter 24. It's going to explain to you. 24 and 25, if I remember correctly. 24, that's what it is. Chapter 24. Right? But let's prove that wisdom was the very first thing created. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 4. Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. Right? Wisdom was there first. That was the very first thing the most high created. Right? Let's read verse 5. The word of Allah Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. Right? And that's why we know wisdom is the commandments. Because the Most High commands wisdom to do the things he did. There's wisdom within everything living. There's wisdom in plants. There's wisdom in water. There's wisdom in you. Him that have ears, let them hear. You could be able to may the Most High can increase you into more wisdom. Then you can if you don't understand what I just said about wisdom being in everything, may he give you that understanding. Because when you start to look at other things and you start to get deeper in certain things, you start to see how miraculous, how amazing the Most High is when it comes to his creations, and that everything is by him. Right? So we just to prove that wisdom was created before all things. Right? So now let's go back. Wisdom was there when everything was being created. Wisdom had a spot in every nation. Right? Like I said, read the book of Sirach. We're not going to get there. I don't have too much time right now. All right, so let's go back to Sirach 34. Sirach 34. Right? And I made a Most High, made somebody who's watching this or who sees this later on down the line receive what's being brought right now. So chapter 6. Sirach. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, verse 32. Right? My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. Right? If thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. Verse 33. If you love to hear and to be able to receive what's being taught, this is what you'll get. Thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. If you will just, this is the miraculous cheat code. If you was just to listen, and let the Spirit deal, you will obtain these things. It's very simple to how to obtain wisdom. The Most High, he doesn't make it complicated for you to understand unless he has a veil over your eyes. Right? He won't make it complicated to understand. Right? If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. That means if you love to hear, understanding is going to come. You're going to receive it. Right? And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. In order to you receive anything, you have to be willing. That's why it says, my son, if thou wilt. You have to be willing to want it. Because if you turn your ear from the law, like I did on the Sunday milk, if you turn your ear from the law, you're already showing that you don't want to receive the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment that the Most High has for you. You don't want the miraculous cheat code. Right? Instead of clicking buttons, you're bowing ear. You're using eyes. You're using spirit. The spirit of humility. Right? Being meek. Right? And being a servant of the Most High to be able to receive, so you can become a better brother, become a better teacher, right? Become a better brother or sister that in charity, whatever it is that you seek, that you're trying to become better at, you will receive it if you love to hear it, and if you bow thine ear, you're gonna get it. That's the cheat code. This is the miraculous cheat code. Right, verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders. This how you get it. This how you get it. The Most High is giving it to you. Like, this is how you obtain this cheat code that I got for you. Right. Stand, meaning that's an action. In order for you to stand, You're either walking and you're stopping and you're standing right there. It's an action. So standing in the multitude of elders, meaning you have to go to these elders or be around these elders. Everything is going to require an action in order for the miraculous cheat code to work. In order for the miraculous cheat code to work for you, it's there for you. Stand in the multitude of elders and cleave unto him that is wise. How do you know if an elder is wise? How do you know even a brother or a sister is wise? Action. They're going to show you their fruits. It said in the book of Matthew, you shall know them by their fruits. That's how you're going to know if they're wise or not. The spirit is always going to tell on somebody. That people can lie and be crafty all they want. The spirit is going to tell you if somebody is wicked and if somebody is not. It's very simple, right? Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. You be at their doorstep. Hey, so what is this? What this mean? What scripture is this? What scripture is this talking about? Right? I'm trying to get the understanding of that because I've been thinking about this for 3 weeks straight and I just ain't got it yet. Next thing you know, you in the multitude of elders and they give it to you. One, that's the Most High answering your prayer because most likely you didn't pray for it or fasted on it or both. Right? And you're going to receive. You're going to receive the wisdom. The wisdom wants to dwell in you, but it's not going to dwell in somebody that's wicked. It's not. It'll rock with you for a certain period of time until you get your almost cursed, until you get your stuff straight. But you only have a certain amount of time in order before it depart. Before, like, you know what? I done gave him chance or her chance after chance after chance after chance. We getting up out of here. It's too dirty in this body. The spirit gonna depart. Right? Verse 35. Be willing to hear every godly discourse. Right? Be willing, my son, if thou wilt. Be willing to hear every godly discourse. Don't turn your out them brothers talking about this, man. Look, but you better not do that. You might be missing something. They probably gonna say something that you need. That's why you gotta be willing. Them brothers talking about, look, man, we understand. But you could miss something. The Most High could be showing you something. He could be giving you something. He could be put you in that scenario for you to take something on how to be or how not to be. Right? Be willing to hear every godly discourse and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. Well, how do you do you not let the parables of understanding escape thee? How do you do that? Right? It's a question that needs to be asked. It's a question I need to answer. Right? How do you know, or Salakla, how do you not let the parables of understanding escape you? Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 4. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 4. Right? Let's find out. Let's find how you not let the parables, how not to let the parables of understanding escape you. Right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 4. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark saying upon the heart. That's how you don't let a parable of understanding escape thee. Israel, just listen. That's the cheat code. Just listen. Be humble. Incline your ear to a parable. Also, if you don't understand the parable, if you're inclining your ear to something, there might be something in there that might went over your head. If you don't incline your ear to hear the parable, how are you going to understand it? Because a parable is going to require a question, because there's going to be something in there that you don't understand, that that elder or that brother or that sister might know. But the parable of understanding can escape thee when you don't incline your ear. It's very simple, Akim. It's very simple. This is how you don't let the parable of understanding escape thee. Incline thy ear and then ask questions. Because when you incline your ear, you're going to have questions about something. If it's not at that moment, it's going to be coming down the road soon. Because if you don't understand it, how are you going to be able to understand a parable you've never heard before? Being around a congregation, being around a multitude of elders, you think you're just going to understand everything? Hey, the Most High might give you that spirit, and if you do, if you have it, call hallelujah. But if you don't, you better incline your ear and you better start asking questions so that a parable won't escape you. You better cherish that moment the Most High got you in. Right? Let's go back to the book of Sirach. Chapter 6. All right. I'm finna bring out a little bit more and then we finna head out. I'm finna close it out in a second. All right. Verse 35 from the top again. Be willing to hear every godly discourse and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. We went over to how to not let the parables of understanding escape thee. Incline your ear and ask questions. Be willing to hear. My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt receive. Verse 36. That's a lot, like that. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Hey, elder, what this mean? Elder, what this mean? What that dark saying? What Songs of Solomon saying? What this mean? I don't understand that. Can you break it down? Right? Wear out his doorstep until he's like, man, this brother is diligent. What's up, Ak? What you want? Or what's up, Ak Wathian? What's Shalom? What's going on? Shalom. What you need to know? Well, I'm trying to understand if in the Songs of Solomon, the 4th chapter, it say this, but I just don't understand. I know it's an allegory, but I don't understand it. Can you enlighten me on that? Baruch Shah. Right? If thou sees a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him. If you're going to see a man of understanding, you have some level of discernment to be able to understand that this man is a man of understanding. Get thee betimes unto him and let thy foot wear the steps out thy door. I know if it was me, if I see somebody that got some wisdom, oh yeah. If I don't call, I might not call you every day, but I'll call you every week or every other week. I'm gonna be in contact with you. I'm definitely gonna be in contact with you. I can't contact all the brothers that I feel like it's just too much on my plate. I might have to do it in increments, but I'm gonna contact you because I want to know what the Most High you gave you a different understanding. I want to know what you know, what the Most High increase you with. This is how you have to be. You got to be willing. You got to want to know. You got to want to. This is all part of you being that. I ain't gonna say it because I'm still working on it, but I ain't gonna say what I'm creating. But I'm just gonna say this is all part of you being the greatest one of the greatest servants, right? When you do this, when you apply this miraculous cheat code, right? Let's go to read verse 37. We're gonna move on. All right. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Adawan and meditate continually in his commandments. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Adawan and meditate, deep think on this, right? Continually, all the time, in his commandments, in the Torah. He shall, who? He shall establish thine heart. If you do that, the Most High is going to exalt you. It's very simple, Akim Akwathyan. It's very simple, Yasharala. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. Most High, you might cleave to him in the prayer. Most High, this and that. You might have been pleasing the Heavenly Father, and you just come, you put up this one prayer, and He give it to you. That light will start that light will start to shine on the Akim, and Akim will notice that Akim that have discernment and understanding and actually walking and following in sincerity and being diligent in this truth, they're gonna be able to see that. And guess what? Now it's contaminating them righteously for that same spirit to be magnified in them. Then now you might go have them go plead to the prayer to the Most High to be like, whatever that brother got, Most High, I want that. Because all this is going to be a domino effect to be able to increase the nation as a whole. Right? Increase the nation as a whole. Right? So he shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. To me, that's a beautiful, miraculous cheat code. All it requires is footsteps. All it requires is footsteps and ears. Footsteps and ears, right? Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment. Spiritually first, physically always second. That's what I like to say. Physically first, spiritually first, physical second. Right? All right, so with that, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. Y'all should know this already, but it's perfect. It's perfect for what's being brought out. It's perfect. I got two more precepts, and then I'm going. I'm out y'all here. Nechami ain't gonna leave y'all alone. All right. I hope this was an edifying class to the nation. Whoever's watching this, whoever comes across this in the future, I hope this is edifying. I hope you're able to receive the miraculous cheat code and start applying it. Right. I really pray the Most High gives you the spirit, gives you the spirit of understanding, knowledge, discernment, and wisdom, and actually magnify that within you, so you can be a better servant for the nation, right? So you can be a great servant, all right? So you could be able to let that light shine for other Akim or Akwatyan to be able, for them to be able to, so you can spark that domino effect, and then other Akim and other Akwatyan can spark that domino effect, and the next thing you know, the whole nation is, come on, man. The miraculous cheat code. It's not hard. It's not hard. Like he said, his commandments ain't grievous. The miraculous cheat code ain't grievous. Just apply it. If you was to apply thy mind, right? Psalms chapter 111 and verses 10 through 11. Am I in the right chapter? No, I'm not. Am I in the right chapter? I probably got the wrong chapter. Oh, we'll go with this. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of God One is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So we know this precept. People, or Akim that's been in this season and been in the truth for a minute, they know this precept. But for ones that's just coming in, this is a beautiful precept. This is one of the precepts that you have to have in the precept bag. And that spiritual precept bag you got around. So you might have to tear it out one time. You know, you on the highways. But give me the book of this. You know, the fear of the Adawan is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, right? You're going to have a good understanding. Why? Because the spirit of wisdom is going to be within you, because the Most High sees your sincerity and your diligency of wanting to please him, of wanting to put his will over anything that you want to do within your own life. That's not to say that you can't still do what you want to do, but the Most High needs to be at the very forefront. If he's not at the very forefront, you're going to be at the very tail end. Let the curses be a witness to that. Let the curses be a witness to that, right? The fear of the Adawan is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever, right? Call hallelujah. Let's give one more precept and then we out of here. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 3, verse 13. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 13, right? And then we're going to close out. So James, chapter 3 and verse 13, right? Computer going a little slow, so salak laya. Right? It's the book of James, chapter 3, verse 13. Who is a wise man and indeed with knowledge amongst you? Let him shoot out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. So you're going to know if somebody's wise by the work they put in, by the work they do, and by the fruits they show and bear. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge amongst you? Let him shew out of a good conversation. You're going to know somebody is wise by even what they speak. You're going to be able to tell, man, this dude is a fool by the way they talk. Him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. His works with meekness of wisdom. So what he talk and how he walk is going to show you if that person that you cleaving unto, like the previous precepts we brought out, cleave unto him that is wise and cleave unto him that want to have understanding. You're going to know if somebody is wise by the good conversation and the works they have. Right? So with that, it's your brother Nehemiah from Nations and Kings and Priests, NoKap Cali section. I hope the brothers and sisters who's watching this video was edified. All right. With that, I want to say shalom.